Hello. Welcome to the channel.
What's up? What is up?
Okay, it is June 23rd, and today the topic is the long way around.
The long way around, okay.
Who do you think today's quote is by?
How about I can play this. I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna stick.
With Marcus?
Yeah.
All right, you're actually right today. That's why I asked you. I was like, I'm gonna give him one since he's always guessing Marcus.
I'm gonna stick. I should have changed last time, but this time I needed to stick. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Marcus Aurelius has a quote. He says, "You could enjoy this very moment all the things you are praying to reach by taking the long way around, if you'd stop depriving yourself of them." Okay, you could enjoy this very moment all the things you are praying to reach by taking the long way around, if you'd stop depriving yourself of them. Okay.
Can you do one more time?
You could enjoy this very moment all the things you are praying to reach. AKA, you could be enjoying the things you want in life by taking the long way around.
But what is the long way around?
Okay, here's my guess. My guess of long way around right now is like
hard work.
The hard work, trial and error.
Yeah.
Push it through, baby. Take the action. Don't give up. Stop looking for a shortcut.
Not constantly thinking about shortcuts.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, how do I get there quick?
Yeah.
How do I make the quick buck, something?
Right.
Like, no, it's this. There's this long way around, and then that long way around is really hard. But that's actually the way to get there. There are actually no shortcuts. Yeah.
Precisely. And me sitting here wanting a shortcut is delaying my action and is delaying my forward movement towards something because I'm sitting here like, hello,
shortcuts.
Silver platter, please.
Boo, shortcuts. They're so tempting, right? They're so tempting. They're so tempting.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's right there. Just go like this.
Yeah.
And like, no.
And it's also easy to look at other people's success and to have this weird thought
and
that
sometimes go ahead.
Like sometimes I'll have this thought when I look at someone else's success, like, oh, it was easy for them.
Yeah.
They had an easier time. They had a shortcut.
Or they had a shortcut.
And this is why they were able to achieve it. And I don't have my shortcut yet. And that's why I'm not where I wish to be.
And what is a shortcut? Oh, they were lucky.
They didn't have as many hard times.
They didn't have to do all this hard time stuff. They got their money from inheritance. They didn't have to do all this hard work. But money's not gonna win you life, right?
Money doesn't save you from hard times.
Money doesn't save you from hard times. Right. So it's like
just watch Succession, man.
Yeah, exactly. So the long way is to do the hard things one chip at a time. Yeah.
And the last thing he says is, if you would stop depriving yourself of them. And that's where the quote for me goes haywire.
Of them whom?
Them,
right,
the things or the long way, the long way.
Things, yeah.
Or if you'd stop depriving yourself of the things, I don't know. Maybe Ryan knows.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's look at Ryan's.
Okay, so Ryan, please tell us what's going on. He says, ask most people what they're working toward, and you'll get an answer like, I'm trying to become a insert profession. Or they'll tell you they're trying to get appointed to some impressive committee or position, become a millionaire, get discovered, become famous, whatever. Now you ask a couple more questions, such as, why are you doing that? Or, what are you hoping it will be like when you get it? And you find at the very core of it, people want freedom. They want happiness. And they want the respect of their peers. A Stoic looks at all this and shakes his head at the immense effort and expense we put into chasing things that are simple and straightforward to acquire. It's as if we prefer to spend years building a complicated Rube Goldberg machine instead of just reaching out and picking up what we want. It's like looking all over for your sunglasses and then realizing they were on your head the whole time. Freedom, that's easy. It's in your choices. Happiness, that's easy. It's in your choices. Respect of your peer, that too is in the choices you make. And all of that is right in front of you. No need to take the long way to get there. Okay, holy shit. He understood this totally differently. Now I get it. He's saying, like, if you'd stop depriving yourself of, like, you think you want these other things that take a really long time to acquire and get, but at the end of that, really you just want these simple things that you could have right now if you stopped depriving yourself of them.
Mm-hmm.
That is what that part of the quote means. Okay, but then he gets to like the crux of it where he's like, freedom, that's easy. It's in your choices. Happiness, that's easy. It's in your choices. Respect of your peers, that too is in the choices you make. So once again, like, Ryan, did you take all of 15 minutes to write these 3 sentences? I mean, I love you, but I'm sorry. I need a little bit more to bite on too.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what you were saying the other day of, like, when someone says, well, just do this, it becomes dismissive of the process that one takes to get to that place.
Yeah, because he's saying, like, okay, like he's saying, like, if we want to, like, we want these simple, we ultimately want these simple things that are available to us right now, but we're depriving ourselves from it because we are trying to chase those things somewhere out there, thinking happiness and all of this stuff is out there somewhere, and I need to go do this hard work, this long way, to be on this path for a really long time to get to that thing. But ultimately, what we're after are these simple things that are available to us right now by making the choices over the things we have control over, right? Which is, again, very little, right? Ultimately, the choice of how are we looking at it is the only choice we actually get. Right? Like, how do I want to take this on is a choice. And so if those are so it's simple, right? Or like it seems simple because it's like, well, ultimately I only have control over to choose how I take this on, whatever the life brings. And so if I want to be happy, I need to bring it on. And it's like, oh, haha, this is cool. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Instead of, I hate this thing. Life is not happy because I don't have happiness. Look at all this stuff that's showing up that I don't like. Well, no, that is the choice. You say that's the choice. That's what they're talking about. So I get that. I get Ryan's point too. Like, okay, we have. If you then do that, then hey, you achieve all these things that you're trying to chase, and it's very easy. Just choose to look at it and take that on more positively or something. So the result of that is happiness or something in those.
Yeah, I mean, here's where, because even in like what you are talking about, like you're able to describe things really, really well, and then it gets kind of fuzzy. It's like, try to take things more positively or something. And it's the specific
choosing
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean for sure, but I don't know what that means in context. In like the context of this specific situation that's happening, and my brain is processing information, and it's like
creating emotions or something.
It's creating whatever it's creating.
Yeah.
Because happiness, it's also like, yes, there is an acceptance of life as it happens. And I agree with you there that like the more I can learn how to say, this is okay that this happened. Like it just happened, now it's in the past, it's now a fact. And because it's a fact, I have to accept it. I have to get to a place where I accept it. Like
but what's the fact about it?
Just that it happened.
But what happened?
I mean, like, just go with me on this, because like what happened, it's a there's an observable event, but it was observed by different observers, and now all of those observers put together on whatever the thing happened. This is what I'm saying. It's like a tangent for me to go in this direction. You get the point of like something transpired. Mm-hmm. It's now in the past. It can't be changed. Mm-hmm. So therefore, my like responsibility here is to accept it. Great, it happened. I can't change it. I can't do anything about the thing that just occurred. So I will accept it. But now I'm moving also toward a future.
So you accept it, but what are you accepting?
Accepting, in my book, is like taking out the bias of like whatever emotional bias I am putting on top of something, and getting to a place where I am emotionally neutral about whatever has transpired. I don't feel one way or the other. I feel like I'm seeing the situation clearly, and I trust that I'm seeing it clearly because I'm emotionally stable about the whole thing. So that to me is what acceptance is. Mm-hmm. Now there's a future also coming toward me. Okay. And that future is also like, well, I have a choice here. This has not happened yet. And so I get to decide who I'm going to be in this space. And so I take the information from the past in order to figure out how I'm going to play here in the future. And so what I kind of sometimes feel from this vibe of like the happiness people vibe of like, well, you can just be happy with how things are and just accept the life as it is. I sort of miss this, like, there's sort of like this sense of helplessness about it. Like, life is just what it is, and I just need to be okay with it. And like, maybe I'm just like coloring that like rosier than people are intending it to sound. Yeah, but like where it feels like really right for me is like, okay, I accept the fact that the past happened, but I'm also an active player in this situation. And I'm also moving into a future where I'm an active player, and I'm going to play smart here. And I'm going to be assertive here. And I'm still going to, it's not me fading away into the background where I'm just like this happy son that's like not really engaged or participating in things.
So that's interesting how you see it like that.
Yeah.
How you see it like so black and white. Like it's this or it's that, right? Like there's kind of like.
I mean, I'm seeing like that like this general like the spirituality camp to me feels like it has this more just like passivity to it. This like, I'm just a passive. I don't
need to do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And I lived in that world for so long that I like stopped wanting things. I didn't have any goals. I didn't have like any motivation. I would go to write something as like a lifelong writer, and I would feel like I don't have a voice. Like, I don't have anything to say here. It was almost like that world, like I misunderstood the whole happiness thing as like just become this passive acceptor of like whatever life has. And I like erased myself as a person. And so this stoicism has actually been really helpful for me in sort of starting that engine back up and reminding me that like, oh yeah, it is about acceptance and happiness, but like I'm here. Like, I'm a responsible agent that's assertive and like making choices and moving forward. Why are you smiling?
It's because like some of these things you're saying are so sweet. Like, I erased myself as a person, which ultimately is the goal, right? Oh, but then I also have to say like oh, but you haven't, because if you erased yourself as a person, then you would have never come back to a person, because there is no such thing. You actually erased it. So you just got to some place where it felt like you erased the person, but the person was still there in theory. You know what I mean? Because if it was actually erased, then it's not existing. Yeah. Therefore, it can never come back. but it.
I mean, who knows
maybe
what
felt
I'm
like
what I'm thinking
yeah,
of erased as a person. Like that's
Sure.
such a figure of speech.
Yeah,
It's such a poetic saying. You know,
Yeah,
it's like. No, it was not. I did not achieve the goal because the goal is actually happiness, and I was not happy. I was performing these things that I thought the spiritual community was saying, do this and you will be happy. And I was doing those things and I was not happy. And I had a chip on my fucking shoulder about it. I was like, I'm smarter than other people about this. I have the key and the secret to the universe. And look, I am happy. It was like this bullshit thing of like, no, I will tell you that I'm happy, when in fact, I'm not, like, at all. And I'm alienated, actually, from this, because I've just, like, misunderstood what this whole thing is trying to get me to understand.
And now, is it flawed, or you're not understanding it?
And maybe
We
it's a
don't
little
know.
of both.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little salt and a little pepper, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I'm willing to take the responsibility. I'm willing to say I misunderstood.
And I would say none of those things are actually perfect. None of them.
Right, actually, I needed that.
What's perfect is the way how life is unveiling. That's the way that's the
actual
perfectness of life.
Yes.
Everything else, every system, concept, thought, idea has error and flaw built into it, because it can never be right. It can never be the thing what it is, right? It's just an observation of that thing. Yeah.
The spiritual, we can wrap this up. The spiritual thing was helpful in a different way of realizing that reality is one thing. And me as a human being, I plug it up into that one thing. And so my true nature is this one thing.
So when you plug up, can you be unplugged from it if you
No.
plugged in? Okay, so you can never be not it.
No, yeah. I can never not be part of the one thing. I'm always a part of the one thing.
You're always a part of the one thing, yeah.
And that has helped me, I think it's helped like clear up mental space where I might be still like just wondering about this sort of thing. Like, what is after death? And like, is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Like, were the Christians right?
What is this?
Do I need to go to church?
Moment, right?
What is this present moment?
Yeah, like what is this? What is this thing called now? This present thing that we observe, and it's always changing. What is this? I mean, that's that question, right?
Oh, like what is this whole thing? I mean, I think the thing that plagues me more than that question is like, what is death? And like what happens after death. And I could foresee myself spending a lot of time just absorbed and kind of freaking out about that. And the spirituality angle of it has sort of cleared that out for me and has freed up my mental space to be like, I'm okay theoretically with a lot of this. Am I okay in actuality with it? Like if I died right this moment, I mean, I guess I would be okay with it because I wouldn't have a choice in the matter. But like, would I fight it? You know, and I have not gone to the end of that contemplation.
And fighting it would mean is what?
Like wish that it weren't happening. Like,
So
like bargaining with it. Like, please.
Bargaining with it, please. I don't want this.
I don't want this to happen.
You want something else.
Yeah.
You want something else. You want it to continue, or
right. Because I haven't achieved something, or I haven't experienced something.
You're maybe
or
like it feels like you're missing still
not
on
yet.
something. Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done it all yet.
I never became the thing.
The thing that I made up in my mind that I should be.
Right. And that when I wake up in the morning, I think to myself, well, someday ... Yeah. Like that someday ... hasn't happened yet. So therefore it's not time for me to go.
And therefore you would fight it, right?
Yeah.
Right. But do you see like maybe like if that was not the goal of this whole thing, then could you see that like, oh wait, that's where I don't have to fight it because this thing is not about this achievement of some sort.
If that weren't the goal, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I'm clear that achievement is not the goal of life.
Yeah.
But am I clear about that in my body?
Is it a nice to have, like to achieve the things you would want, you know, or something?
Right, like.
Yeah. It's like a cherry on top or something. You know?
Yeah, like achievement is what I'm going after because I have to wake up and like do things, you know? But at the same point, I can't be too pissed off when the achievement doesn't happen because it will always not happen the way that
it will always not happen the way you think
want it to or think it will.
Or could. Yeah, how you're planning it. So if it never happens that way, then
I think it's
then,
like
then
it's
why
like
are we expecting it so much of it to happen the way we're
and that's what they're
imagining?
saying, like you can't do that.
Yeah.
You use it as a target where it's like, hey, like great.
I want to go that way.
And I'm not gonna land on a bullseye, like maybe I would, and that would be like strange.
Yeah.
But like
hole in one. But like I'm just trying to
in that general direction, I'll be happy with like if it landing.
The hole is this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Which is it's good to have.
No, direction is important.
Yeah. All right. Well, that went into some places. Let us know what sticks out to you today, and we'll see you here tomorrow.